fantasy realm of Sanctuary. In the past, an unnamed warrior defeated a great evil known as Diablo. Diablo is the Lord of Terror. The unnamed warrior attempted to contain Diablo's essence within his own body, but the hero became corrupted by the demon's spirit, and demons have entered the world around him, spreading chaos, death, and strife in their wake. In the present, you are an inexperienced adventurer who has heard these stories of destruction. You have decided to find the cause of this evil. You travel to the small town of Tristram, where the wise old man Deckard Cain resides. But not all is well in Tristram. As you near the town, you see strange creatures walking about. They look like they could be zombies or ghouls, but they move. Unlike zombies or ghouls who do not move. Alright, a very stirring start. A very standard start as well. Let's see. So the evil has already spread to the sleepy town. You grip your starter weapon. Your starter weapon with a determined hand and move to intercept the strange creatures. You call out to them as you draw near, in case they are simply townsfolk who are confused or inebriated. The creatures do not respond and continue on their way. You turn back to the other side of the road. It seems that you will have to make another attempt at this town. Okay. As the strange creatures have seemingly left, let's leave a bit of room for interpretation there. You move into Tristram proper, wary for further encounters of the bizarre and dangerous kind. You look around for a hut, a hamlet, a house for residences, or someone who can guide you to Deckard Cain. I wonder if there's a way to... So we've got a couple different display modes. Right now I'm on the play. We've got view, edit, and accessibility, none of which really... Let's see here. Play prioritizes with smart line breaks and inline editing, which is what we're doing. View has smart line breaks and no inline editing. Fuck that, I want inline editing. Edit prioritizes that and better performance. Okay, let's try edit, because having it bounce around like that. How does that look? Because it goes to the top. Streamlabs, how's it look? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the cutoff is way below that anyway. Alright, we'll go with this for a while, and I can always fuck around with it further if I feel like it. Alright, you look around. You come to a split in your path. One way leads to the local tavern, the other towards what seems to be a chapel. With this new information, you are inclined to investigate the tavern. Thank you for choosing that for me, AI Dungeon. You move towards the tavern, sheathing your sword so as not to seem like you're about to rob the place. Inside, you discover that the music just hit the end of the loop. Yeah, it did. A barkeep and various drunks in the corners of the room. They're easy enough to spot. The candlelight gives them a ruddy complexion caused by sitting in the dark pub all day. Approaching the barkeep, right? Yeah, barkeep. It's good to keep the same verbiage or terms that it's using. Don't want to confuse it. It gets confused. You read him, and yeah, let's go to dialogue. You call out, "Well met, barkeep. I am a wandering adventurer, and I seek an audience with the wise old man, Deckard Cain." Me and everybody else. The barkeep looks at you from behind the bar with a bored expression. He looks even less interested when he answers you. "Cain? In here? I doubt it. Old men like him tend to stay at home and do nothing but read all day." "Then you know where he lives." "Sup, Sunpillar? Good to see you again." "Yeah, I have been really checked out of, and I'll tell you the story, since now is the best opportunity, I suppose. I've been really checked out of the whole Diablo 2 Resurrection thing, and that's largely because I didn't actually encounter Diablo 2 as a kid. I played through all of Diablo 1, beat the game, I loved it. But for whatever reason, because my parents were buying the games, because I was on AOL at the time, I just didn't encounter Diablo 2, and by the time I did, it was late enough in the tech cycle that I couldn't deal with it. Like, okay, these pixels are too clunky, this UI is too clunky. I'm sorry, I can't. Even though I accept that everybody believes Diablo 2 is the bee's knees. So this Diablo 2 Resurrection is happening, and whatever, I'll wait. And I just found out today, that they're doing this early access open beta thing, and basically everybody gets a key, and if you're not an influencer, just watch a streamer for 2.5 hours and you'll get a key. And I found out about this about an hour before that offer ended, so no key for me. It's like it goes to actual open access on the 20th, so clearly I can get in if I feel like it, but it made me a little sad. So then I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'll have my own Diablo 2 early access. And if I want hookers and blackjacks in there, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, when we were younger, they were astonishing. It was incredible. And honestly, a lot of it still does hold up. If you look at these skeletons and everything that they put together, they did a really good job. But there are things that I can deal with, there are things that I can't deal with, and by the point where I turn up the resolution to the point where it's no longer making my eyes hurt, we now have trouble seeing what the hell is going on. So, yeah, Diablo 2, I just bounced off it for one reason or another. Resurrection, I think I will enjoy, but I'm going to have to enjoy it like this for the next week. So, the barkeep looks at you from, okay, we did that. Cain in here, you know where he lives, you ask? I know which house he stays in, but he is I should rub some rural on this. I know which house he stays in, but he's a very private person. It would be best not to bother him. You insist that you really must speak with him. All right, keep it going. The barkeep finally caves and tells you that he can show you the way. You and the barkeep exit the tavern, and your guide leads you to a nondescript townhouse. You thank the barkeep, and promise him, and tell him that you'll need a room later, and perhaps some drinks. With that, you knock on the door of the townhouse. Deckard Cain, you call out. You wait a minute, and then knock again. No answer comes, and so you try the door's handle. It's unlocked, so you let yourself in. Well, adventurer confirmed. Let's break all the jars and take all the rupees. Inside, you see a dramatic and disturbing sight. An old man lies on the floor, covered in blood, a dagger protruding from his back. This is, without a doubt, the town sage, Deckard Cain. A muffled curse escapes your lips. The old man is dead. This someone in town is harboring dark secrets, or the demons have already spread this far. Or perhaps the strange creatures accomplished their evil deeds and departed. You kneel by the body and check for a pulse. Perhaps it isn't too late. Yeah, that was hectic. I'm happy with how it turned out. I don't know if I'd want to do that again, at least not with that many viewers, because I spent like an hour just scrambling to read everything aloud and frame everything in my head in some sort of continuity. I don't know. I hope it was fun for you guys. I have no idea if it would be fun to watch. As you lean over the still form, a strange voice sounds in your head. Life gone. No help for me. Must find my student. The body is still. Deckard Cain has passed on. But his last words resounds in your head, and you search his townhouse for clues as to who his students might be, or what might have happened. Sup, Holy Cat? Oh, shit. Wait a second. That shouldn't be there. I hid the CSS. You search at bookshelves for any which might list his students, because I'm sure he keeps a book of his students on his bookshelf. Apparently he does. You find several such books and skim through the pages in hopes of finding some clue. You discover that his most recent student is named Tyrell. Isn't that? Yeah, that's fine. A quick search around his house turns up no further clue, so you exit the building. Moving back to the tavern, you look around to see if the strange creatures are lurking nearby. Given an opportunity. Doing all right, Holy Cat. How about yourself? There is no sign of them yet. You climb the stair. I don't want to do that. Okay, let me do this. There's no sign of them yet. You ask the barkeep if he knows of Deckard Cain's student, latest student, Tyrell. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. The two streams I know of for AI Dungeon, the two really good ones I know of, are Wayne Radio TV, which is basically what turned me onto the idea entirely, and another group that I don't know, like AI Dungeon Crawlers, I want to say. It's like a group of people who work together, and they have voice actors. I don't know if they're amateur or professional, but they have live music and a live artist, and it's ridiculous. And I don't, I can't compete with that. Like, there's no way. But I can, at the very least, get some backgrounds, art in there, get some background music, kind of provide a similar experience. That's what I go for. Okay, I think this is possibly why I started going to the play form instead of the edit form, because it doesn't scroll down. We'll see how annoying that is, or if I can fix that somehow. Alright, you ask for Tyrell. Barkeep shakes his head. Cain never spoke of such matters, and I never pried. Strange old man could be very private at times. Yeah, that's the name. It was Jack. It's that channel. I'll thank you for your time. That's a bust. You get a drink to quench the dust from the roads, and go up to your room to rest. Tomorrow, no doubt, the town will discover Deckard Cain is dead murdered, there will be questions, and you would prefer to face them on a good night's rest. Okay, yep, that's annoying. Let's go back. Settings. What is it? Under display? Yep. And then play. Derp. Alright, go away. Alright. Who knows what the demon creatures will do next? Early next morning, you awake to the sound of loud voices. You look out your window and see a large group of people crowding around Kane's house. You called it. You debate with yourself whether to sneak away, as the newcomer in town is no doubt going to be the most suspicious. But you remember, Tristram is an early hub with access to blacksmiths, merchants, and traders of all natures. If you run away, you'll lose all shop access for the first act, and that would be a giant pain. Instead, you move to the crowds and call out the discovery of last night and ask them if anyone else saw the strange creatures. Yeah, I'm still up and down on the multiplayer thing, probably. Like I said, I did have fun with it. And yeah, holy cat. Like, I would actually prefer the way I just had it if it was scrolling down consistently. That's something I'll fuck around with off stream. You hear several people back away from the group, but nobody steps forward. You sigh and say, "Very well, I will inform the militia and let them sort it out." Turning to walk away, one woman steps forward and says, ... "Wait, stranger. I saw the demons last night." The rest of the people in the area turn back to her and half begin accusing her of being crazy. You simply want to help. I'm going to get rid of that. You shush the crowds and approach the woman, looking at her to get a sense of who she is. I was going to say looking her up and down. I just want a description, though. I don't want to be, like, checking her out. This is not that kind of stream. Is it? Okay, let me hit it again. Let's try that again. Wait, is it? Oh, now this isn't scrolling. Fuck me. Alright. Well, this is fine. She is a woman not many years older than yourself, dressed in practical farmer clothing. Her mannerisms are calm, even accommodating, yet you get a sense that she doesn't suffer fools gladly. You decide to trust her, and whisper, "How did you know I was talking about demons? Most in this town don't even believe they exist." She raises an eyebrow. "How'd you know what I think about the stuff of nightmares, unless you've seen them before?" Good point. Want to tell me what happened? Well, this is just going on its own, huh? The woman tells you she saw the demons really early in the morning, at around 2 or 3 a.m. She knows because clocks and watches are common in this universe. You ask the woman if she heard them at the murder of Deckard Cain, or perhaps an interrogation? I actually have like a WordPress of maybe 20 or so previous things I've done on this. So this isn't my first stab at AI Dungeon. I am coming back to it after about 2 months because the whole drama around the censorship was kind of a turnoff, but coming back to it because, I mean, where else are you going to get this? There's novel AI, and I don't think it's mature yet. I wish them the best of luck, and I really hope that it works out, but when I poked at it, it wasn't giving me the same experience. She tells you no. She was asleep when she heard the voices? Okay. She was asleep when she heard the demonic voices, and they woke her up, clearly. Her curiosity piqued. She went to the railing of her upstairs balcony and looked down over the town square. There she saw a bone-chilling sight. Chill my bones, AI Dungeon. The demons she saw were all over the small area of the town, but one stood out. It was larger than the rest. In fact, it was larger than any man she had ever seen. This must be a strong and fearful demon. You ask if well, no, because nobody was going to know a demon's name. You ask her to describe it further. Sup, Lawful? She tells you the demon was a bit taller than a horse and burly in build. It had 4 arms, each wielding a weapon of some kind, and its face resembled a boar. Did it have a name? I'll prompt it. We'll see what happens. You ask, hoping against hope that you're not getting her more involved than she's... What? Hoping against hope that you're not getting her more involved than she's letting on. Father Lefor was the one who told me about it, she says, which isn't a answer. He said it was the captain of the hosts of hell, the Satan. That's a strange name for a demon. She asks, what are you, some kind of priest? No, but it's strange. I mean, it's just weird, isn't it? Forget it. I am here. I am a wandering adventurer, and I am here to root out the evil. I will leave this town and follow the demons to bring them to justice. Justice. In a court of law, no doubt. Come on. She stops you and says, you seem like you might be seeking vengeance. If I were you, I'd stay out of it. Those things are really dangerous. You shrug. I'm really after the experience, so I can become a full adventurer with full epic... I don't want to get too far. With full a fully fledged adventurer. But yeah, I do also want vengeance against unrelenting evil and the forces of darkness. They've killed someone's... Yeah, how about this? Everyone has a family member they've butchered and devoured. Don't you? The demons have... There we go. All right. Good line. Scroll around. No. The woman goes quiet and stares at her feet. Finally, she says, I'm sorry, and walks quickly away. You feel like you've offended her somehow, but you can't imagine what. Her feelings aren't really your concern, though. You set out back along the trail outside of Tristram, in the direction you saw the strange creatures moving towards. You hope the woman is okay. She seemed nice. You roam the wilderness until you find a clearing with huge, hideous footprints and other strange markings. Alright. You consult your demonology book and check the meaning of the strange markings. Because everybody has one of those. They look sort of like gibberish at first, but as you concentrate, they seem to form sentences. These sentences worry you greatly. They read death, decay, and putrefaction. Putrefaction? Huh. Petrification is a word. Putrefy is a word. Putrefaction? I guess that makes sense. Follows the linguist. Alright, death, decay, and putrefaction. This must be the mark of the demons. Or a teenager. You draw your weapon and hasten your pace, determined to catch up with the slow-moving creatures. Completely on instinct, you turn at a junction in the road and run face first into another adventurer. Damn it, you must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. Hail, fellow adventurer. Did any demons pass this way? You ask. Demons, cries the man. Death or putrefaction are they? You stare blankly at him. He goes on, many have journeyed on this path before us, yet so few have spoken on their return. This dungeon is treacherous and riddled with deadly traps. But if you would assist a weary traveler, I would be most grateful. All right. He seems to be a few arrows short of a quiver, but there is madness aplenty in these demon-infested lands. What assistance do you ask for? I wonder if I can just refresh it and it'll... You know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to back it up, continue. Alright, let's see if that fixes it. I recently came across an abandoned castle, he explains. Within is a treasure that many would covet. I lack the strength to carry the treasure home. Will you help me? Sure, you nod. Which way did the demons go? You know, the demons? Fuck the treasure? Demons, he asks. Death, decay, and putrefaction? Putrefaction have I told you of? No man may ever sully the sanctity of my lady's home. Let us be off. No, you decide. That's all right. I'm really after demons today. But good luck with the whole treasure... What was it, a mansion? What did it say? Let's just say treasure thing. It's a dungeon. The man's face falls. He stands there, nodding his head. Perhaps we shall meet again upon the morrow's eve, he says, and leaves. Clearly, the man did not encounter the demons. His madness comes from another source, that of a lust for gold. You turn around and take the other path at the junction. So that was a whole bunch of nothing. You neglected to ask the woman's name. What if it's her? A strange noise whirs above your head. You look up just in time to see a jagged spike of iron coming straight at your head. duck reflexively and raise your blades. Looking up at the source. Looking up at your attacker, let's be more specific. You see a man holding a contraption like a crossbow, made entirely of metal. He wears very colorful clothes. You think gold and black. He's very pale, and he looks very dead. A zombie. You charge in, wary of the crossbow, and ready to wary of the crossbow, and swing a mighty blow at the zombie's arm. Your sword cuts right through, and you kick the dismembered limb aside. The zombie falls back, but does not fall down. The zombie poses a little threat alone, even with a crossbow that must have been loaded in life. But a zombie is never alone. You turn to see more zombies shuffling out of the undergrowth and count them. 6. You charge for the group and swing, but you've underestimated the crossbow's range and the zombie's dodginess. Several bolts rip through your flesh before you could do any more damage. You curse and chug a healing potion before, to top off, as you hack the zombies apart and tear the gold from their bodies. Six zombies doesn't even add up to a decent purse. Oh, but that crossbow, the mechanism is of an ancient design, unknown to any smith today. You equip the rare drop. Pleased with the find. This rare crossbow, will surely come in handy as you pursue the demons. And the zombies indicates you are now back on track. This is the road the demons took, after all. Weaving through the trees once more, you are rewarded with a clearing, and the sight of something truly otherworldly. Before you stands a massive floating fortress. How astonishing! This must be where the demons came from, and why they seem to show up out of nowhere and disappear so quickly. Their fortress can fly. You approach the drawbridge, thankful that they have yet to pull it up and look for a way inside. Alongside the main tower is a door, slightly open and beckoning you inside. You've beaten the demons to their own home. This really is your lucky day. You enter through the open door. You are inside the floating demon castle of Act 1. You have yet to know where Tyrael may have gone off to, but there is a clear and present evil for you to root out right in front of you. That's when it hits you, the smell of rotting flesh and brimstone. The room begins to fill up with demons. With your new crossbow, your new crossbow serves you well as you chop them up with semi-automatic fire. But there are many demons, and they have fire, and they have literal fire of their own. Hellfire. They throw balls of hellfire at you, and you duck and weave around pillars. Well, duck and weave into the castle's corridors, cursing their names. More demons come to attack you, but you defend yourself well with your crossbow and swordplay, and even trigger some of the traps that seem common in castles. Top 10 traps commonly found in demon castles. That might help out. I'm going to get into that. Alright, give me some good stuff. Pitfalls, tapestry tentacles, pressure plates. Cover them in mud, then demons won't see you. That's a great trick if you're a pressure plate. If you're an adventurer, maybe not. Pus siphons. Stick your hand in there, and it sucks out all your diseases and poisons and blasts them at the walls. It's interesting. That's actually interesting. That's like, okay, so if you contracted poison or disease or DOT, that rids it of you and then spits it out at the next enemy to trip it. Fire spouts. Those aren't even dangerous. I question that, but let's see. Rotten wood. It's just a normal door. Who would think? Water. Shut the faucet. Or not. It's actually really hard to douse the torches. That's the point. Pulsating purple masses. Ugh, what is this thing? The floor. Okay, maybe it's not number 2, but we got that closer, so we can move on to the next. And the number 1 trap commonly found in demon castles. Ba-ba-dum. The prickly pear patch of death. Pwned! You leap from the window, past the ever-watching demons, hoping that your return to the ground doesn't end in a painful death. And I appreciate the game doing that, because I was going to have to transition myself anyway, so it just returned me right to the story. I didn't have to do anything. You land on the gantry outside, rickety and wooden, where demons apparently were conducting construction using some kind of demon union. You climb the gantry quickly, as thankfully demons aren't demonic hellfire doesn't set it alight, because it's a demon gantry made of demon wood. 2 demons appear on the walls and will soon fire upon you as you flee. Oh shit, they've got an angle on me. Which way should you go? You try to make it to the tower before the demons can get a firing solution on you from their elevated position. As you climb to the next gantry, a fireball explodes on your right. The left has got demons shooting at you there too. Okay. You run and dive for a... what do I want to call it? I'll just call it an opening in the tower, as fire explodes all around you. Cool guys do not look back at explosions. One of the explosions passes right next to you, and you feel your hair singe. Excuse me. As the explosion throws you against the wall, you are lit on fire and plummet to the courtyard below. You chug a potion reflexively. to heal up before thumping to the ground. Luckily, the world of Sanctuary does not have falling damage. You pick yourself up and ready your crossbow, charging through the courtyard towards... And here I'm starting to... what else would a fortress even have? Towards the cages of the stables, the demon stables. A couple shots down, and you have... No, do something better. Why would it even have a horse? I want something better than horses. The demons that you saw earlier mill about the courtyard, 2 of them just randomly setting fires around the place. One of them turns to spot you. Outsider! It hisses warningly to its compatriots. You fire a quick flurry of crossbow bolts. Crossbow bolts at the demon. And vault into the stables. There you discover that you've jumped from bad to worse. The demons don't ride horses. Instead, they ride great winged beasts like flying mastiffs with vast leathery wings. You kill one of the beasts before it can dive at you, but the other grabs you with its teeth and carries you aloft. Uh-oh. Let's see. You try to snatch at the reins of the beast and climb up onto its back. Maybe I can take it over. Let's see how that goes. The creature shakes you off and spirals higher into the sky. Its mouth hangs open, its forked tongue flickering on the air. If it carries you too far away, you'll fall outside the demon fortress and have to start all over again. You can't let that happen. You grab its jaw and punch its tongue. Tongue punch. Demons hate that. It drops you. You fall for a while, and you dive roll across a stable roof to recover. The winged dog beast banks and turns for another attack. Quarterstaff, poison bolts, crossbow, flame arrows. You decide to use a spell instead. Well, no, I don't have spells, like we've established on a new adventure. What can I do against this fucker? You elect to dive for cover just as it reaches you and and fire a shot at its back as it passes. There we go. Not super exciting, but it goes down in a ball of flame, crashing to the roof before sliding to the ground. You duck back as it lets out a final shriek. Ha! Gotcha that time! You have leveled up. From the experience you've gained, you grow stronger. I don't want to get too lit RPG on this, as I know it will start doing it back to me. You feel like you've grown stronger after that encounter. Your newfound strength helps you burst through the gates and into the floating demon fortress's inner sanctums, the torture rooms. You enter the torture room and You enter the torture room and you slash and stab your way through countless demons. A door at the end of the room leads you to a strange demonic ritual. In the middle of the ritual you can recognize the student Deckard Cain described. It's Tyrael. The demons have captured Tyrael and are using him for their sick and twisted demonic ritual. It involves... Hopefully they don't get too grisly with this. AI Dungeon is happily to get its gore on. It involves drawing strange markings on the ground and placing the books you've been collecting. Okay, let's retry that. It involves... Okay, that's fine. It involves drinking blood from a cracked and bleeding rock. The demons seem to be channeling something, but it's too chaotic for you to interpret correctly. You try to disrupt the ritual with a classic castle prank. Castle trap. Untying a chandelier and letting it crash down on the demons. And letting it crash down on the demons, yep. It works spectacularly. So well that the chandelier ends up falling on you. The sound of your neck breaking is almost masked by the demonic roaring as they were crushed by the chandelier. The world is fading around you, is fading to black, before it suddenly snaps back into focus. Tyrael has cast a resurrection spell on you. Angelic wings sprout from his back, and you realize Deckard Cain's student was an angel, was a warrior angel, which I think is actually true in Diablo lore. I seem to remember that Tyrael's name was used. No, you are Tyrael. Alright, let's undo that and sprout from Tyrael's back, and you realize Deckard Cain's student, Tyrael, was a warrior angel. Be very specific. Very specific. Alright, go there, you go away, and enter. He heals you with a magic potion. You are alive once more. You've been killed too many times in one day, he warns. Be wary, you can barely move after I bring you back to life. You are suffering from resurrection sickness. It will pass in a few moments. It will pass in a few moments. You take the time to ask Tyrael if he knows about Deckard Cain's death. Deckard Cain's death. He tells you he hasn't heard from his father, from his teacher, in a while, and mentions that if you know anything, you should tell him. When you tell Tyrael what happened, he's overcome with sadness and rage. You promise Tyrael you are here to put an end to the madness and the mockery of the demonic scourge. You ask where the... What was the name of that demon? Burp. I should probably write this stuff down. For the left are the captain of the hosts of hell, the Satan. Where the demonic captain traveled to. Now, we're not going to face him yet. That has to be, of course, like an Act 2 thing. Tyrael says he was told the demonic captain went to the Thousand Island Lake region. The Thousand Islands? Okay. When he last heard about him. He came here looking for the Black Soulstone. The Black Soulstone? I've heard that is an artifact capable of unspeakable evil and incredible good, depending on who wields it. I've also heard you can socket it in your sword for extra 20 damage. Tyrell explains the Soul Stone is a dark artifact that contains the trapped souls of an entire race of beings, the long-dead Ethereals. The Ethereals were once like angels, Tyrell explains. Feels like he's got more to say. But powerful beings of good, but they entertained views of individuality and freedom that contradicted the rigid government rules of the Celestials. Alright, so the Celestials imprisoned them? We're the good guys. The Celestial courts found them guilty, and they were sentenced to community service, charged with the task of sorting out all human souls upon death. Realizing this is getting more political than you intended, you accept the Black Soul Stone is a dark artifact that contains the trapped souls of of all Ethereals and must be recovered. Who wields the Black Soul Stone in the floating demon fortress and rules the floating demon fortress, you ask? You want to guide it, say, okay, show me the Act 1 boss. One of the unimportant demon lieutenants, barely worthy of notice, Tyrell says. His name is more ridiculous than the demon is evil. How do I find him, you ask? He is here, in this very fortress, Tyrell reveals. In the throne... Oh, in the throne room. In the throne armory. And I can guide you there. Having recovered from the resurrection sickness, you move with Tyrell towards the throne armory. Demons attack and try to stop you. You and Tyrell dispatch them with ease. You're level 2, they're level 1. They're level nothing. Do enemies even have levels? Or are they just balanced? I don't even remember. It's been a minute since I played a Diablo game. Anyway. Alright, so you dispatch him with these. Let's see here. Trudging through the knee-deep sea of demonic corpses, viscera, and disgusting, horrible things they call art. You approach the what's the stuff in the nether? The nether. No, that'll just make us start talking about Minecraft. The obsidian gates, we can still use that. Gates of the throne armory. And force them apart. Inside is a blood-curdling sight. What you got? What you got for me? Dozens of dismembered souls. That's pretty good. Screaming helplessly from the inside of their glass prison cells. You slowly approach the stone table in the center of the room. As you approach, the stone table slides aside, revealing it is in fact a stone sarcophagus. Inside is the demonic lieutenant, rising up on glass shards, on a pillar of glass, on a snake-like pillar. Let's go. Snake-like pillar of glass shards. He is a terrible sight to behold. A goblin-like face with a mouth filled with hundreds of teeth sat atop a shard-filled column. His belly is swollen as if pregnant with something. With a deep breath, you open fire, peppering the lieutenant with bolts, with crossbow bolts. Tyrell circles around, searching for a critical juncture to strike at. But how do you kill a demon made entirely of glass and teeth? He croaks at you.
You have released the souls of 100 into the void. Could you ever had hoped to escape your justice?
Taking this as a rhetorical question, let's call it back. Let's see here. What's the best? You cover a pressure plate with mud and wait for the lieutenant to cross its path. With every step he makes, with every slither he makes, the pressure plate sends out an electric shock that shocks the lieutenant and kills him quickly. For the poor souls you could not save, Tyrell says, standing above you. For your daughter. With those words, he gashes the lieutenant's belly with all his wings, revealing a bright baby blue crystal inside. The lieutenant's body lurches up in a tsunami of glass shards, reforming from its serpent shape into something even more dangerous. Second phase. A glass golem. He feels his insides and discovers his baby blue soul cage dangling from a chain. With a grunt, he snaps it off and swallows it in one gulp. Diving across the sarcophagus, you duck as the glass golem sweeps its great arms around. With every swing, soul cells are shattered, releasing the howls of tormented, dismembered souls into oblivion. Fortunately, those cells can be rebuilt into a volatile bomb by being infused with negative energy. Unfortunately, you ran out of skill points before you could learn how to do that. Tyrell is shocked by the renewed torture of the souls and unfit for battle. It rests on your shoulders to defeat the demonic lieutenant's new form. I hear your name is really stupid, you accuse the demon as you attack. Maybe if... No, okay, that's not right. Let's try it again. You should really take inspiration from the Shadow Lord's real name rather than his demonic nickname. My name cannot be raised above his, the demon bellows. This gives you an idea. You find another chandelier and drop it to the ground. Then tie the rope to a second chandelier and slash that just as the lieutenant crosses its path, catapulting the lieutenant into the air and landing him back in the sarcophagus. I don't know if it's him or it at this point, but whatever. You pull the ropes tight, keeping him trapped in the sarcophagi as you send bolt after bolt into his form, shattering glass shards all over the place. One bolt flies into your arm, embedding itself deep. You cry out from the pain, but endure it as you finish off the lieutenant once and for all. The glass shards composing his body collapse and reveal the baby blue soul cage for Tyrell to grab. I think Two Faces is good for the first boss. You sprint over to him. He's coughing, sputtering, broken. The angel is dying. My wings are acting of their own accord. I can feel them pulling me back to heaven. Well, take this fucker with you. Well, bastard. With you, you say, and hand him the lieutenant's soul cage. Maybe he can be of some use up there, to you and your angel armies. Let's reposition myself a little bit. Yes, maybe he can, Tyrell says and clutches the cage to his chest as he ascends back to heaven on feathery wings. You have defeated the demonic lieutenant and grown stronger yet. You are no longer an inexperienced adventurer. You are considered a competent adventurer. You open the chest of ancient artifacts hoarded by the demonic lieutenant in search of better equipment. Which really he should have dropped, but yeah, what are you going to do? You find some of it, but despite this feat, you are still just a competent adventurer. You see a glimmer in the darkest corner of the treasure trove. Oh, what's this? You approach the glimmer and push aside trash whites to, maybe better not, trash common gear to reveal a strong, very rare item. A soul-bound item. You spend an extended period of time researching these items, which is good because Dr. Kane is dead so nobody else can identify. Simply put, they are sentient items with their own mind and character. This sentient item is I still don't know what slot it goes into. Is a sword, and by the looks of it, a very powerful sword. The name etched onto the blade reads as follows. See, hold on to the mother. Okay. You decide this is probably the sword has a better name. What is it? CHOTTM. You know, that works. Chatham. And address Chatham directly, as it is sentient. May I wield you? I am here to slay demons and kick ass. And I'm all out of ass. You feel the answer in positive intent. Let's go, you command, is eager to see Chatham, and by proxy yourself, in action. You depart the demonic fortress, stopping by the stables to see if any of the leathery winged beasts are amenable to being ridden by a mortal for some reason. A lengthy search reveals that none are, but you do find a warbeast, a manticore. It has the body of a lion, the wings of a bat, and 3 rows of sharp teeth. Despite being monstrous, this is not a demon. They must have captured it from some wizard or some far-off land and brought it here for torment and or demonic bragging rights. And, demonic bragging rights. You you befriend the manticore and coax it to take you to the, what was it? He is going to the Thousand Lake region. Thousand Lake region in return for setting it free. Which is always a bit of a touchy conversation. It's like, I'll set you free if you take me somewhere. It's like, you don't exactly have the moral high ground there, buddy. You have saved a manticore. Okay, no. Half of that is good. You have saved a manticore and befriended it. But that part is not good. The manticore, freed from its hellish shackles, the manticore rises on bat wings with mighty flaps of its bat wings, shakes its mane out, and roars before sweeping out of the flying fortress and across the lands. You ride it far to the north, towards the to the outskirts, to the first lake of the Thousand Lake region. Clearly, it is a procedurally generated series of lakes. You have to go through 1,000 of them in order to reach the boss. It's actually kind of a Disgaea thing. Okay, fuck you. Try it again. Only then do you finally get off it and pet it. Go home, my furry fellow, you command. Oh, shit, I like that one. Restore. Alright, let me grab that. Because this is actually good, too. You find a land of rolling hills and shallow lakes, overgrown with wet grass and wild... My tongue is getting weird. You find a land of rolling hills and shallow lakes, overgrown with wet grass and wildflowers. Only then do you finally get off and pet the manticore. Go home, furry fellow. The manticore obeys, flying off in search of a mate. You sigh in relief as you watch it leave. You approach the Thousand Lake region with caution. Even with your new sentient blade Chatham and your new experience in dealing with demons, you are quite far from home and unfamiliar with the dangers of this land. Well, it's lakes, so... The locals are restless and seem largely fishy in nature. There are fishmen and lizardmen and crabmen about. Crabbo. They will give the stabbo. The sky is even under the domination of a large kraken-like creature, which seems to be perpetually spawning pools of water-dwelling beasts. That is metal as fuck! In time, you approach a village of fishmen that seem peaceful enough and hail them, looking for someone to give you information. Is the Kraken a god? A strange weather pattern? Or a demon? They ignore you at first until they notice the heavy Anbar lingering around you, and then hasten to speak with you. Hang on a second. Anbar. I apologize for any sniffling, coughing, etc. that I go through. I'm based in Colorado, and there's a hell of a lot of smoke coming from the fires in California, so the air quality here is terrible, and unfortunately it got even worse. Anbar is a town in... Okay. The ruins are near modern Fallujah. It's like... Or is it Fallujah? Either way, it's Iraq. That's... interesting. Okay. So they notice the heavy ruins lingering around me. It's an aura. They notice something. What they tell you is most peculiar. Show me something weird. Do I have a sufficiently Cthulhu soundtrack? That one's not going to last too long. No. It's not really my stock and trade. It's like I've got Helldivers, but that is not what that's referencing. Homeworld, maybe? I guess. Technically Link's Awakening, but that would just be chiptunes. No. Open to suggestions on this. You know what? Most of Panzer Dragoon is over water. We'll go with that. What they tell you is most peculiar. You appear to be evil, as the waters surrounding you turned warm when you approached the village. They explained that they had to annihilate a group of crabmen who were too evil and warm-blooded for these lands. This is local politics. Or is it? You ask where the nest of the crabmen is. They say it is an hour's journey south of here. You thank them and head that way, hopeful that Chatham will let you exterminate another nest of agents under the control of a demon lord. I should hope so, it's what we're here for. Traveling an hour north, you find the hive of... What do you even call it? Burrow? The lair... Lair is good omnipurpose. The lair of the crabmen. Check something. Yeah, that's fine. And approach a side entrance so as not to... No, hunkering down to observe them from safety. The crabmen have clearly been influenced by demonic forces. You can tell because they have a perverted religious reverence to the Kraken, as well as their current demon lord, Zaverza. They also appear to be worshipping idols of both. You suspect the Kraken idols are pre-existing conditions, as it's not a shock that they would worship the Kraken. You'd probably do it too if you lived here. But the Demon Lord Zaverza needs to be addressed. That part, that's new. You wait for night to fall, assuming that crabs are, in fact, diurnal creatures. When night comes, the crabmen come out in droves to pray to their demonic lord. You take this time to slaughter them all as they loudly chant their prayers, which consist of praising their new overlord. I'm going to cut this out, but let's do this. They loudly chant their prayers. Alright. Right. Demons are almost exclusively nocturnal. You should have known that. But this still gives you an advantage. You pick a moment when they are all gathered around an idol of Zaverza and sneak into their lair. Quickly, finding yourself deep in a maze of twisty passageways, all alike in damp stench and decay. The passageways are gaping holes in the ground that you must jump across, squeezing through narrow crevasses here and there. It is slow going. I'll just kind of work with that. So far, you have escaped notice. You can feel Chatham getting restless. You have yet to slay a single demonic crabman. As you pass a crevasse, your sentient blade jerks at your arm, and you topple in, falling into a slidey slope and tumbling into a nest of crab eggs. The crabmen will immediately notice the warm egg blood coating you. You curse your luck as you scramble to get out of the lair before they arrive. It's far too late for that, and you don't even know the way out anymore. Crabmen begin to scuttle out of the darkness, scenting the egg blood on you and clacking for vengeance. Okay. Let's refresh that. I died! No! You fight them off for a time. They're fairly easy to kill, but you are quickly overwhelmed when the first of their reinforcements arrive. People, demons, whatever. Their only real threat is their sheer numbers. You have to turn the tide somehow. You scramble for purchase in a chasm and climb back up towards the surface, where one of the great idols is perched precariously, wrapping your arms around rotting ropes. You haul on it, attempting to topple it on your pursuers. You manage to pull it on its side, but you slip back down before it finishes falling. Still, you have the ropes and use them to climb out. You take up a defensive position on top of the idol and hold your ground as crabmen climb up towards you. You obliterate multitudes with each swing of your two-handed blade. So apparently Chatham's a two-hander. Then you look down and realize that you are still in a very bad position. The idol is prone, but skewed to the side. There is a shudder and a lurch as Zaverza itself bursts from the grounds. Zaverza is great and terrible, is a great and terrible demon. He bears the features. It bears the features of all its worshippers and more, as it is clearly in a state of indefinite rot. It is merely a mass of waving tentacles, gaping maws, ever-changing eyes, and has no corporeal form. Zverza lunges at the idol with the shriek of 1,000 maws. Its mass thumps into the side and frees it from its moors, and it starts to roll. You scramble to keep up, running in place as the huge idol crushes multitudes of crabmen underneath and is coated in crab guts. But you are not safe. Let's see here. Who's at it? Well, demons and crabs are leaping up and attacking you, even as you run in place. So I'm going to get that moment from, was it the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie? Let's see here. Clawed hands reach up to knock you off the idol as others attempt to drag you down and eat you. You are filthy with gore at this point, but still swing your blade. You are running out of healing potions. And the stone idol is running out of land. It's headed right for a seething lake, bubbling and frothing with the Kraken's hunger. One of the Kraken's tentacles is in the lake and munches everything, and filtering through every... Okay, it's, you know what, it's fantasy, I'll just say. Yes, and constantly eating everything that falls in. That could be you! You duck the swooping tentacles and baffle the floating eyes, but it is not enough. You are knocked from your footing and plunge towards the lake below. Splashing into the lake, you surface and catch your breath, only to be plunged underneath again as Zverza flollops into the water, enraged at your persistence and beyond all reason. You must fight Zverza underwater. Okay, that's nothing. Give me something. Grabbing a potion of water breathing and some diving equipment, you jump off the deck of the boat into the water. There was no boat, but apparently there was just one there. Some fishermen had diving equipment and a potion of water breathing. So, you chug the potion of water breathing, thankful that one of the locals apparently didn't have gills of their own, and strap on the water movement gear with alacrity. I don't know how to say that. With speed. Yeah, let's dumb that down. You can now fight underwater. The Water Temple boss fight against Zverza begins as you swim around its numerous tentacle lunges and sweeps cutting and moving. Cut and move. Cut and move, cut and move. Its maws spew bile and acid, and you struggle to keep your distance as you chip away at its, well, everything. You realize Zaverza is entirely done with your nonsense when it peels apart to reveal the demon's true form. So, second phase. A giant amoeba. It stretches around you, lobbing balls of acid while you struggle not to get absorbed and engulfed. You swim for your life from the endless tide of demonic protoplasm. Cutting away acid, polyps, and what was the other thing? Bile, and what are they called? Little tiny clams. Gosh dang it, I should know this. Mollusks? No, that's like, they're all mollusks. Things you peel off hulls. Fuck it. Barnacles. We'll just go with barnacles. As they attempt to latch onto your delicious human flesh. Switching from Chatham to your crossbow, you tie potions of water breathing onto the bolts and fire them at Zaverza, hoping to confuse the amoeba, the demon, by giving it an ability it clearly already has. Sadly, it doesn't work. All that happens is Zaverza duplicating the bolt and firing back at you. You dodge with an underwater backflip and realize you're out of options and ideas. The water is the undertow. The undertow is dragging you closer to Zaverza. And all hope seems lost. And suddenly, a long shadow looms from overhead. The great Kraken has finally taken notice and is slurping up Zaverza in a single mighty gulp. Even this monster is not stopping at taking one for the team, though. It's still got the acid sacs and the bile-infested tentacles, which are now aiming to get inside you. You play keep away for a moment longer as the Kraken's maw closes around Zaverza's form. Protoplasm squirps and shreds between the many countless hordes of teeth, reducing Zaverza down to its smallest possible components before swallowing the demon whole. You take a moment to reflect that swallowing a greater demon may not be good for the Kraken in the long run, and a demon Kraken would basically doom the world entirely. But on the other hand, it must have swallowed many demons already. It's probably built up an immunity. Or it's already doomed, but that's pretty unlikely. You swim back with your newfound water agility and discover that when Severza reached the lair, it uncovered its throne room and the treasures inside. With these, among these, you find your first epic item. I don't want it to be another weapon. A legendary dynamite sword, the perfect low-level explosive tech item. Time in Xavia's home has certainly been fruitful, and you are now ready to take on greater demons. You combine the dynamite sword with Chatham, or you throw Chatham away, in fact, way into the lake. Some local can fish it up and have fun, you guess? But Chatham betrayal back in the lair showed it cannot be trusted. And now you have a dynamite sword. Fuck Chatham. You also find a piece of legendary armor to go with it, which is what I really wanted. But I cannot ignore the legendary dynamite sword. A flood enchanted armor made to protect against watery depths. Your trusted wader boots are legendary as well. You feel invincible as you look over these new treasures. It seems very likely these would have been useful in the watery realm you just conquered. Now you're not so sure, but they look sturdy and strong and should serve you well on land. On land too. Returning to town, you explain to the fishmen that the crabman menace is no more, but you are in search of greater prey, the captain of the demons. Have they heard of where it might have gone? Oh, that would be a swerve. But I can't say that that makes sense. Having the captain himself kill Deckard Cain, like, as much as that would be fun, there's no way the Kraken would come down to Tristram and not be recognized as, what the fuck is that huge starfish thing? No, I didn't watch Suicide Squad. What are you talking about? You get the general sense that they're already preparing themselves for this sort of tale. Rumors are abound of the demon presence on lands. You collate the rumors and try to make sense of it all. The captain is an elusive target. Surely there must be something the captain wants. Something you can seek out and acquire first. One of the rumors suggests a historic island that went dark decades ago. Castaway Cay. Cay? Is that a thing? A cay is... Okay. A low bank or reef of coral, rock, or sand. Totally a thing. If there's something the captain needs, you don't doubt that's where he'll find it. Weary of all the swimming for the moment, you hire a moray raft to sail to Castaway Cay. Your journey is long but uneventful, and you reach the island without trouble. In the distance, well, as you approach, you can see signs that trouble is indeed on the horizon, despite what just got said. Plumes of... Do something. Plumes of black and green smoke signal that whatever going on, it's bad. The island appears desolate from a distance. But as you row closer, you see movement, and all hope of surprising the inhabitants is lost. Castaway Cay has been gutted out. What is it? Not hellfire. Brimstone juts from all angles and spirals high into the sky, reeking of sulfur and hellfire. Winged demons cavort, and brutish figures lurk in the miasma. It is now Castaway Volcano, and is clearly a hellmouth, a gate into the deepest reaches of the devil what do I want to say here? The deepest reaches of, let's just call it just straight up hell. All right, that works. The rumor was true. You've ended up in the middle of a potential apocalypse. But what drew the captain to Castaway Cay? Why here? Why now? Did the Dark Wanderer you heard legends about come here in an attempt to isolate himself? Am I feeding lines to AI Dungeon? Perhaps? You may find out, but not before beaching yourself on the shores of Castaway Cay and starting your ascent up the forbidding, thank you, slopes. And treacherous. They're treacherous as well. There may be treachery. I may be backstabbed. Your journey upwards is a long and hellish one. Choking on poisonous fumes and the taste of death in your mouth, you hack up brimstone and blood as you ascend. You fight many skeletons on the way. Not human skeletons. Not for the most part. But the skeletons of crabmen and fishmen and eelmen. What else is it? Sharkmen. Even strange abominations such as shrimpmen and what are those wiggly things? Not jellyfish, although this jellyfish man would be interesting. But things that spiky things, the spiky balls. I need to prepare thesaurus beforehand or something. Thesaurus.com would have me, but I'm trying to do this legit. And urchins, urchin men. Urchins. What is an urchin man? I don't know. There was probably one in He-Man. The demonic armies have no use for them in death, it seems. Their skeletons, well, they're animated. Okay, let's do animated Mindless skeletons are littered about them. Then you face the devils. Always the devils. Your dynamite blade gets quite a workout, and as you carve a path of explosions through the landscape and over the ridge, you can now see into hell itself. And somewhere down there is the captain, lurking, waiting. Before you is what remains of the staff on the island. You cut them all down with ease. So there were caretakers on Castaway Cay once. It was a historic island. Among the staff is an undead sage who bears a backpack of tablets describing the dark past of Castaway, the dark history of Castaway Cay. You scrutinize the stone tablets, or the shells, shell tablets? The coral tablets, and learn that the island served as some kind of paradise for ancient mariners cast upon the shores of this accursed land. A pool of sacred water promised eternal life and youth, if only one was pure of hearts. But if one was dark of hearts, if one was pure evil, hint, hint, one could enter a cavern at the bottom of that same sacred pool and access hell through a portal. This explains everything. Deckard Cain must have told the captain where to find the portal, the pool of sacred water. The captain was able to open the portal to hell and unleash the multitudes therein. The world is certainly doomed, unless you, and you alone, can put an end to the captain's insidious plot. And by insidious plot, I mean opens a door that was already there. You descend the spiraling the spiraling brimstone coils in lurches and drops, unsure of how you'll get back up again when the deed is done, if you'll get back up again. Within, as the cay gives way to hell, you see... This may be too vague. I'm kind of prompting for... Yeah, okay. You see shapes looming everywhere. You're too deep now to turn back. Even if you wanted to, you can see the portal now. You can also see the torments of souls damned for eternity. Tortures like... And this is what I'm looking for. Some sort of hellish background here. Give me a torture. Okay, that's nothing. That's not specific. That's also not specific. Although I did see a landscape of gnashing teeth. Okay, I'll let that go in. Tortures like you've never seen before. And singing? You hear faint opera music, even as you're clubbed in the back of the head by demons from behind. Dazed, you can put up little resistance during the cutscene as the demons drag you to the center of what was once Castaway Cay. The portal looms overhead, malevolent, and nauseatingly pulsating. The captain is there and relaxing and enjoying the fine arts as put on by sirens from hell. You recognize this as the famous opera. You know what? Give me something. La Bête la Cour du Maine. See if that's a thing. Oop, that's not what I want. La Bête. This is getting awfully James Bondish. Maybe I do mean domain? Google's not being very helpful. This might be a new thing. I'll try one more thing. No, apparently that's a new thing. All right. I will also translate it real quick. What does that mean? It's in French. I'm just going to straight up assume. The beast like Hor du Mane. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, Captain turns from the spectacle and sets his eyes upon you. He beckons tormentors to restrain you as he strolls over. I'm going to cut you apart and blow you up, you threaten. The captain only laughs at this. My friend, you've reached the end of this road. One way or another, it ends here tonight. He turns and gestures towards a portal. What possible ways could this end? Either I kill you, or you kill me. Not exactly, the captain says with a smirk. The elevator doors open, and Ice Rack Lyrist and countless Hell Commanders come streaming out. You're taken aback, good of allies. So not exactly as perfect. Everything else, give me something better. Derp, derp. Okay. That's silly. I like it. It's cute. The one in which you die a horrible death. You don't just get killed, you get killed bad. I've mixed it up a bit. Let's just say that I've had the devil's own luck, and hope you've been paying attention. Now, enough with this pleasantries. Time to die. The captain thrusts a hand into your chest and pulls out your soul. Dusting you off, he throws you onto the stage with the sirens. Now, he smarms. Let's see how you perform before an audience. The show's already begun. Oh, shit. Begun, and you are on stage. The four seductresses begin to, well, seduce you. Okay, so that's not happening. This is not that kind of stream. However, there are sirens, there are succubuses, clearly. I am going to let that stand. You realize you still have all of your equipment, even your dynamite sword. Or is it the soul of your dynamite sword trapped with you? Whatever it is, it means you can... It lets you charge at the succubi on stage, at the four succubi on stage, and hack into them with explosive skill. So, still doing Diablo. Excruciating pain courses through you. Each slash feels like a crucifixion. You are cursed, laughs the captain. Going off script will rack you with agony. Either submit to your fellow actors or be tormented forever. You can barely see from the pain. It doesn't matter if you want to or not. Your body continues with seduction, and worse. It starts and ends with a kissing of your pulsating wounds. You remember, in the haze of pain, you realize there's only one way to get out of this. You lurch to the edge of the stage, snatch the script from the conductor, and begin feverishly rewriting it. The first page bears the title Terrorist's Guide to Hell in a childish scrawl. You tear out the page, shred it, and throw it off the stage to the demons below. With that done, the pain eases. You think a moment and then write the title Diablo 2 Resurrection on the next page. The script glows, transforming into one where you inevitably battle the source of all evil in a climactic showdown. However, the next part is less fun. A big red digital counter appears in your vision, counting... Oh, wait. There was something before. In happy endings that don't suck. Okay, let's get rid of that, actually. You know what? Let's get rid of both of that. That's overall not great. So, do something else. Okay, here we go. At the edge of the theater, angels and demons square off in a brawl. Clearly, things are returning back to their true form. The portal to hell is locked. Your rescue mission has been a success. After that, you're not quite sure what happens. The captain lurches to his feet, glowing and strangling with growls. "What did you do?" he screams. "You've doomed us both. Neither of us belong in the new world you've created." But with a sickening grin, he lurches up onto the stage and draws 4 blades. "At least I can hurt you!" Okay, no. Too fast. Nope. With a howl, he flings himself at you. When the captain cleaves your chest open, leaving you in a bloody mess on the stage, the sirens cease their wailing. But now, you have the power to pop healing potions again, restoring your vitality. You slowly whittle the captain's health down as you restore your own, taking advantage of the copious stock of healing potions you brought along. In another game, I might even save scum. A drop of fresh rain falls on your nose as a storm intensifies. captain shrieks in rage and transforms. And oh, even better. There's 4 arms, there's 4 blades, there's 4 sirens. Rearing back, he impales the 4 sirens on the 4 blades. And let's see. They melt and reform into longer, curvier arms, each with 4 arms of their own and a whole host of daggers. He lurches at you, a hideous amalgamation of blades and evil, stabbing blindly at everything in your general area. You weave and duck, waiting for the right moment. That moment comes at the Dance of Death sequence. Striking with your sword, you cut off a foot and parry a dagger. Parry a dagger. Woo! You cut off a foot and parry a dagger. The captain reels back, and you seize the advantage. Ducking underneath the tangle of arms and slicing at his legs again and again, even as they reform and split apart into a multitude of legs as well. With the captain's legs taken away, maybe, you leap and impale his chest with your sword, but he wraps both arms around your sword, squeezing it with amplifications until you feel your bones crack. Hey, asshole, you wheeze. What did the 5 fingers say to the hand? They said, boom! And you trigger the dynamite sword's ultimate ability. Detonating 1,000 sticks of TNT in the captain's chest. The theater explodes with enough force to be seen from outside. You find yourself falling out of what used to be a theater, but is now a black void dotted by countless stars. Slowly at first, and then faster, the stars turn red and flow in towards each other, becoming countless daggers wielded by countless hands. The captain's true form is revealed to be... I don't know how to explain it any better than that, even. Simply a infinite daggers. An infinity of daggers whirling and writhing in the void. An infinity of murderous intents, of the oldest sin in the book, Cain and Abel. Death by dishonor. I don't know. I think technically the oldest sin might be the apple, but I don't even know if that was sinful or just breaking the rule. Death by life, death by the hand of your brother. Thwuck. Okay, that was possibly too poetic. Thwuck. I'll give it another shot, and if not, I'll rewrite that. No, that's good. And the daggers flow towards you. You falter in your escape, but manage to fall onto a floating landmass, the town square. People look up at you, screaming and panicking. You've fallen into the town square of Tristram. Wait a second. The music stopped. I just realized I ran out of Panzer Dragoon I don't know how long ago. Shit. Well, let's bring back Diablo. In fact, let's make a point of... Why is it not named Tristram? What's the deal? I could have sworn Tristram was... Okay, here we go. We'll do this. And then we'll add this. Alright, here we go. You've fallen into the town square of Tristram. The commoners scatter, wailing in fear as the hellish tornado of weaponry descends like the finger of... I don't want to say like the finger of God, that'll just confuse things, towards the mortal realm. You can parry one, but can you parry them all? Unexpectedly, the woman from the beginning of your adventure is there, and she seems calm, almost eager for the storm of blades to touch down. Are you ready to meet your fate? She asks. Not really, you admit. Too bad, she chuckles. The captain isn't killing you for his own sake. He isn't? All right. Lay it on me. He's killing you to protect... Okay, that's nothing. One more try and then I rewind. He's killing you to recreate the world in his image and realize his pseudo-religious vision. To him, you are the primeval... Okay, that's... Okay, no. Go away. I'm gonna say... The captain touches down in a flurry of blades, of sharpness, and stops. Everything stops. Time has stopped. A choir sings in the background. Sunlight streams through the clouds. The woman glows and rises. It is done, she cries. You have broken the contract, the accords. Just make some shit up here. You took a knee and begged an angel for help. What does it mean? It is done, says the woman. My work here is done. The woman explains that the captain can do whatever he likes as long as he doesn't take his final form on mortal grounds. That's the accord. No one gets to use their ultimate weapon among mortals, because it would bring about the end of all things and all time. By coming after you like this, the captain has just done the one thing he's not... The one thing he's not allowed... No, not allowed. The one thing that will lead to his downfall. Sometimes a dungeon will do this on its own, but this time I think I've got a better answer for it. She says nothing of you, only that she was sent to help you by her master. She glows with a blinding light, and then it fades. The captain, back in his original form, tumbles through the air and thumps to the ground. The fact that there's no falling damage saves his life. However, he is in a mortal body and helpless. Well, as helpless as a towering four-armed demon can be, with no powers other than overwhelming strength, speed, durability, and an incredible taste for violence. You are not kind to him. You don't know all that? Okay. Offer me something. Ooh. He's beat his head on something. The back of his head is caved in and his brains have leaked out through the cracks in his skull. You look at your oversized sword, now dull again. Using the ultimate ability has weakened the dynamite sword. It is now just a sword. It's a common sword. So you switch to your crossbow. To the crossbow you acquired so early on. Hey, fuckface, you say to the captain. I'm going to give you a ticket on the cheapest bus out of town. The Bolt. I lived in Boston for a while. You put a bolt in his skull, I called it. You stare down the approaching horde of howling undead, with sprites of purple and red whizzing overhead. The captain is dead, and the hell mouth has closed. But there are still many demons in the world. Everything that escaped is still around. All seems lost until you realize that another army approaches from another army is popping in from numerous portals. Countless adventurers from countless timelines, with the script rewritten. Every adventurer that defeated evil has come to face the demonic horde. Adventurers from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and on and on. Nicole, whoever the fuck that is, watches a caped man charge into battle with a shotgun in his hands. Adventurers. Well, you exhale, putting your weapons away and sitting down on the edge of the well to watch the show. This is a hell of an ending cutscene. Turned to say something to Nick, but she's gone. She was just here a second ago. You shrug and lean back to enjoy it. Top 10 cross-time adventurers who fought the demons in Tristram in Paradimensional? Yeah, let's see what it does. Number 10, Ryan Jackson. I don't know who that is. Number 9, a team of engineers and goblins. I'm going to picture those as goblins who are also TF2 engineers. From Cthulhu Tech, Captain Picard and the USS Enterprise, I assume. Let's get confirmation. Yep. Una and the Weird Girls, the great old ones. The hero called Newtoven and a ragtag team of musicians, the Doom Thieves. An expansive team of heroes led by Nicodemus from the wild space fantasy setting of Crack, possibly including an appearance by the Cracker. Is that Crake and the Craker? Every hero that ever appeared in any playthrough of Dungeons and Dragons ever. Jake Bishop and a team of time-traveling agents from Imperium of the Wolf Moon, which sounds 40k. Bob and a team of G7 Unity soldiers that appeared in some of my earlier games. No, they didn't. And the number 1, which I'm going to remove and replace, number 1 cross-time adventurer, the main cast from my game. Okay. Try that again. Try that again. You, the player. You. The Twitch stream audience. There we go. That's properly dumb. All right, the ends. Well, no, one more top 10. Top 10 legendary artifacts that don't drop because of broken fucking drop rates. From Diablo 2 that don't drop because of broken fucking drop rates. (10) Wirt's Leg. 9. The Stone of Jordan. The 199% enhanced Bloody Tooth of Corpse Explosion plus 3. Ganjay the Butcher's Infernal Oblivion Falchion of Time. The Relic of Cataclysm that allows the owner to summon avatars of angelic beings trapped in a repeating time loop. Jesus! It's a Jesus fantasy setting. Everyone has this. Wirt's Bag of Gold. The Horadric Malice, which transforms its wielder into a goblin and grants immortality that cannot be cured, even by death. The Diablo 2 Unlimited Book of Subtractive Poison Recipes. And the number 1 legendary artifact, the Diablo 3 Unabridged Deluxe Edition with real leather cover, comprising of 9 volumes of Eldritch Knowledge and 10 DVDs of cutscenes that probably don't add up to the same number of hours as the real game that this book is supposed to be a documentation. Wow, this one of. Okay. Diablo 3 Unabridged Deluxe Edition with real leather cover, 9 volumes, 10 DVDs. Probably doesn't add up to the same number of hours as the real game that it's supposed to be a documentation. It's supposed to be a documentary, but it's called a documentation. That's how you know it's unabridged and deluxe. All right, I need to grab a cough drop or something, rest my chops a bit, and think of something new. So I'm just going to do the end. It's probably going to respond. I'll turn up the music a bit and let you listen to Diablo 2, and then I'll come back and figure something out. Yeah, I bet the AI doesn't know what to say. Alright, I'm back. Just a quick little grabbing some refills and grabbing some stuff. Didn't figure out what else to do, but, you know, there are options. Let's roll the dice. Let's see if there's anything that jumps out at me. Alright, what do I got? I have a merchant doing a very obvious what are you buying, and an ogre of some kind who I'm going to guess is not buying anything. But the merchant does seem to indicate that I need to do some kind of Resident Evil type setup. I don't know much about the Resident Evil games, so I'm going to make some shit up. That is, after all, the name of the game. Do I have... No, I don't have the Resident Evil soundtracks. I mean, I have the movies. I don't know if movie scores are going to get me DMCA'd, which is why I'm not using any of them. It's unfortunate because I've got a lot of movie scores, and I would love to use them. Apart from, you know, Star Wars and Star Trek, obviously not anything like that, but like if I use the Resident Evil movies, is somebody going to come on me? If I use, what else like jumps out at me? Like the Batman Beyond soundtrack, is that fine? City of Lost Children, is that fine? Starship Troopers? Like, there's so many opportunities, and I don't know. But we're going to do Resident Evil. Give me some background images for Resident Evil. I should probably have some sort of BRB screen and some sort of I'm changing things screen. Alright, we need 1920 by 1080. I'd rather not have the characters. I'd rather have something more non-specific. There's that. There's a, what a mansion. I mean, do I want the mansion or do I want the city? The mansion's, I mean, I'm staring at it. I've got the screen right here, so let's go with that. Alright, and then I need to get the actual 20 by 1080. Done. Resize it again, because I actually had to do some shenanigans in order to get that GIF on there. I'm pleased that animated GIFs works. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but I can do stuff with it. Yay, yay! Can I just remove the translation? Transform, reset transform. Perfect. Okay, good. I can do that. Alright. Music. Let's go back to it. Flash shock, not quite right. Also, it's got some stuff in there. Let's see. I can sub in Dead Space. Nobody's gonna call me on it. Probably. Alright. There's that. Let's get... Resident Evil 9 beta. Alright. Are going to be doing horror, but there is... Well, it's technically zombies. What do you got for that? No, fuck off. I'll just make something up. Alright. You are a mild-mannered citizen in Raccoon City. Life is peaceful and good here, largely because the Umbrella Corporation, a very famous and rich multinational conglomerate, has a big stake and uses Raccoon City for its I don't even know what to call it, as a company town. You work in an office doing standard office activities such as typing, emailing, copying, and surfing the web. Surfing the web and fantasy football. You're looking forward to today as there are always free donuts in the break room around this time of the month. Today could be your lucky day. You wake up to the sound of your alarm clock and get ready for work as you always do. When you go outside, everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. You open up Facebook and check your news feed, which includes several posts from family members back home about how great life is back at their respective homes. They all seem so happy that you are safe and well again. You assure them that you are safe and well and happy, just like they are. It's true that not too long ago, you just got out of the hospital. You were recovering from a severe accident in which you breathed in noxious gases from an umbrella, from a crashed umbrella truck. But there seems to have been no side effects, or nothing the doctors couldn't treat. In fact, you feel great. As you go through your routine of getting ready for work, you suddenly hear a loud noise outside. Sounds like it came from behind the building next door. Curious, and ready to be a good citizen, you walk into the alley and take out your cell phone, getting ready to share on social media a possible surprise. I'm not sure to link that surprise with the noise. I may have to settle that up. The alley is dark, and there's a dumpster covered in graffiti just a few feet away. Hello? You call? There's no answer. You approach the dumpster. Phone held properly in landscape mode and recording. As you peek around its edge. What you see sends chills down your spine. It's a man, mid-30s, dressed in jeans and a checkered button-up shirt. It's a lumberjack! Okay, you know what? Keep going. Tell me something that's horrible. Oh, shit. He appears to be bleeding from the mouth, and is that a pipe sticking out of his chest? His body is just slumped on top of the dumpster, held up slightly by the pipe. You reel back in shock. Your phone continues to record for a long moment until you snap out of it and switch and try to call 911. But the line is busy. How can 911 be busy? In your distraction. Yeah, it's not 911 be busy. In the background, you start to realize there are faint sounds of sirens and screams and fireworks. Or are those gunshots? They're gunshots. As you stand there trying to make sense of it all, 3 teenagers stagger out from the alley opposite you. They're also bleeding and appear to be in shock. Oh, shit. You remark, Hey! Hey! Are you okay? What the hell is going on? You call out. The 3 teenagers seem to hear you and start to shamble across the streets. You realize they're not just bleeding, but they're bloody from what seem to be lethal wounds. Darkness spreads along veins and pulses at the edges of their eyes. Fear chills your blood as one raises a hand, only for a speeding fire truck to cream him as it sails by, splattering the teenager, 2 of the teenagers, into chunky salsa. The other helpless teenager watches as her friends are reduced to nothing and staggers into the gutter with a curse, with a groan. Shocked and awed, you stagger yourself. You reel back and steady yourself on the edge of the brick wall. The teenager crawls towards you onto the sidewalk. You realize there's hunger in her eyes, and not the hot. Let's not leave it there. And not the good kind. She isn't human anymore. She's a zombie. Cannot be too vague with it. Zombie. You laugh and cry at the same time as 3 more shamblers join the zombie on the road. Backing up, you jerk aside as an outstretched hand touches you. The man behind the dumpster is also a zombie, but he's impaled on the pipe and can only wave ambiguously in your direction, trying to clutch you as you slip past. You run for it, down the alley and behind the building. You recognize this as a pet store. Lights are off and the door is locked. You try the next door. And the next. You want to call for help, but you don't know who will respond. How many more are there? Is it some kind of... Well, just that. I'll leave that kind of what am I doing for later. Okay, I'm not really liking this. What else can I do? Dishonored. Ah, yes. Evil Within. That's basically Resident Evil. I should have thought of this. The next door you try is unlabeled. Oop. And opens to reveal a darkened staircase. Might as well try somewhere. You shut the door behind you and switch your phone to flashlight mode. You're no longer getting service on your phone, but the apps still work, and the light dimly reveals the stairs as you descend. There's a light at the bottom, and voices. Peering over the railing, you see a group of people huddled together, holding flashlights and hushedly conversing. Hello? Oh, thank God. Others. Sane people. You hastily join them, introducing yourself and asking if anyone knows what's going on. A group of survivors. Not all hope is lost. The man closest to you, wearing thick glasses and a behind-the-time suit, straightens up from the others to address you. My name is Lay. He waits for any reaction. Okay, you say, confused as to why he thinks you should know who he is. Maybe he's a celebrity. None of the others give any indication of knowing him either. I'm the mayor. Okay, you say again, even more confused. What does he want? So, you begin. Mayor Lay, do you know what's going on? Somehow I doubt he's the mayor. I think he's lying to me. I got a general idea. Terrorists, I believe, he answers with a grimace. You blink at him in confusion. No offense, but I don't think that's true. I mean, there are teenagers walking around up there. Teenage terrorists? I assure you, my girl, terrorists these days start much younger. I should know. Mine already has. At this point, you're pretty sure... Look, it's like they're infected with rabies or something. It's almost like they're all wounded. Like, I don't even think they should be alive. Maybe is there a street drug or something? A drug gone bad? Having this required conversation where we refuse to see the Z word. The mayor in his double-breasted suit peers at you. The suit also peers at you, and you get the impression he's sizing you up. Take a step back instinctively. I'm not sure. You give up on getting any kind of useful information out of the mayor and move on to what's probably a more important topic. So, did you call 911? Are the police coming? with it. I called my son, and that's it. Your shoulders slump as you process this. The police aren't coming. Why would they? Is your son your bodyguard too? Or James fucking Bond? Because we need some help. People are dying up there, man. People are dying up there, man. Sup, Crabbo? The mayor straightens up, and you back away. Watch your tone, he warns. You watch it. Their dead friends are up there. Okay, I'll give him one more line. Let's see what he does. Their dead friends are up there, man. You yell, point at the floor above them. The cops aren't coming? What the fuck? Why wouldn't they be coming? And I think that's a very valid point. Let's see what the mayor says. They are, he answers lamely. They're just busy with that explosion investigation. This is more important, you yell incredulously. Just then, a rattling sounds from the stairs above, and light gleams on the railings of the catwalk. It looks like someone has found the stairs you used. Check something. All right, yeah, that's fine. Okay. In the growing light, there appears to be one man and a teenage girl. Sloane, is that you? Get over here. You relax as the man appears to be in good working order, as does the girl. As he comes up to the group, you realize this is clearly the mayor's son. He's dead Rainer. Okay. You introduce yourself to be polite, but your focus is on the girl who is nursing a wound that doesn't look like it's healing well at all. What could that be? It couldn't be a zombie bite. We have to go back up, she insists. More of them are coming. I watched them swarm the place. The mayor lets out a rather rude and, I didn't pause you. What the hell? What is going on with my music? Alright, there it goes. The mayor snores, which is very rude, and honestly, it's like, what are you, 6 years old? At the mayor, who is being incredibly rude. How old are you? Anyway. Watch it say, like, 6 years old. No, here. You ask the mayor. Oh, right. And I have to cue it again. It then occurs to you that he might simply be hard of hearing. I asked your age, you repeat, raising your voice a little louder. I don't think I'm accusing him of being very old. I'm not obligated to tell some stranger my private information, the mayor responds indignantly. You know what, I'm going to remove this. You exhale loudly, wondering how the mayor got elected to begin with when he's a little bitch, when he's behaving like a child in an emergency. Look, if you're not going to do something, then we should do something ourselves. Right? You say to the group at large. We need to find help. Does anyone know where we are? Like, I came downstairs. Is this a service basement? Or... We're not in the town hall basement. Get out of here. There's a map on the table, one of the women points out. You hurry over to the table and pick up the map, unfolding it immediately. The map makes it clear that you are, in fact, in a service corridor. It runs under some of the stores on each side of the street and down towards the what must be a utility station of some kind. Kind of weird, but you're not an expert in servicing things or utility things. So, or utility things. Using the map, it looks like you can get all the way to City Hall if you cut through the power station and make it to the other side, and there must be police at City Hall. They can protect you. Let's go, the bleeding woman says, standing up. It'll be safer together. With a nod, you turn and lead them through the hallways to the storm drains. Faintly above you comes the sound of crashing, breaking glass, sirens, and gunshots. The city seems to be under siege. You've escaped the destruction and chaos down here. And crashing cars. You know what? Let's do that. You're lucky. You're the lucky ones. But down here is no picnic either. The emergency lights in the tunnels... There are no emergency lights. There are no lights in the tunnels. Except for the flashlights you brought with you. And the shadows jump with every turn. Dark and foreboding. Wet whispers echo beyond your perception. And the music stopped again. Alright, I'm going to try this. You're all scared, panting, nervous, and scared. You come to a dimly lit concrete room, lined with metal doors leading to who knows where. You consult the map and determine that you're in the sub-basement of a building. Stairs leading up to here are somewhere in this room, but they're not marked on the map. We'll have to split up and try all the doors, you reluctantly conclude. If you see stairs, say something. You pick a random door and try it, giving it a rattle. Then have to poke the Bluetooth because your mouse is not acknowledging inputs again. Yeah, you're connected. Remember that. Thank you. It doesn't budge. You move on to the next door, also locked, and the next, likewise, and the next. Suddenly, you hear several roars upstairs. You freeze as the sound vibrates through the room and subsides. That didn't sound human. What was that? You whisper. Zombies, Agnes says. Zombies don't roar, Madeline says. Something scrapes against the floor upstairs. You move towards the one remaining door that isn't locked, that in the hopes that it isn't locked. If it is, you'll have to retrace your steps. And well, let's just go there. You try the handle. Be unlocked. It isn't locked. The door swings open. However, there's no stairs leading up. Only a narrow, low-ceiling tunnel heading further underground. It's a tunnel. It's not on the map, you say in confusion. But it's here, and you have to go somewhere. And Dead Reckoning seems to indicate you're still headed in the right direction. With a deep breath of the rank, musty air, you collectively enter the low-ceilinged tunnel. Okay, you're stupid. You immediately start to suffer from claustrophobia. What little light you have seeps away. Darkness closes in. You can't see your hand in front of your face. Turn those flashlights up, you mutter. They're up all the way, someone says. It's like there's a dark fog in here. Or smoke. Well, it's like there's smoke in here. Maybe we should turn back. Suddenly, something lurches into the group. Let's leave it a little bit longer. Like, I do want to get, like, something here. It's dark, but I can see. A nearby voice chortles maliciously. You don't recognize the voice. Cool, so you want to... Great. That's great. You say. But for some reason, you aren't relieved. Something about the voice seems sinister. You don't like it. You trudge forward a bit. Soon it grows lighter. You've come out the other side of the tunnel to an access point. A ladder leads up to the street above, though you've no interest in going that way. It's only... Let's see. You pile out into the room and spread apart, catching your breath as the claustrophobia subsides. It's only when the growing chortle seeps into your consciousness that you realize your group has grown by one. Someone who's right behind you. You turn to find a withered corpse, its flesh partially gone to reveal chunks of white bone, grinning from ear to ear. You shriek in horror. "What?" someone shouts. Stagger back and blink. The corpse is gone. A hallucination? Were you hearing things? Seeing things? You're going crazy down here. With a deep breath, you shake your head. "It's nothing," you say, numbly. "Let's keep going." You decide to take another break after trudging along for a while longer. You're tired, and though you aren't seeing things anymore, the tunnel is still depressing you. We need more light. Well, where are we going to get more? Sneers the mayor. The light store? We've still got a flashlight or two, you say. Flashlights don't give off light like those work lights we took from the store, Brenda points out, which doesn't really mean anything. It's quiet, topside, you point out. Maybe we can hit the street just long enough to get our bearings and maybe some supplies. Maybe some candy bars. Not going to happen. We're not... What water supply? Fuck off. It isn't quiet, Agnes says suddenly. Listen. Her silence falls heavy on you as you try to make out what she's hearing, but you hear nothing. What is it? That's just repeating the things I said. Give me something better. What is it? The sheriff asks. Quiet, Agnes repeats. You strain to listen, and it comes to you. Whimpers, distant but growing closer. We're being surrounded. By what? By who? You say. Though you're afraid, the answer may be. Not who, but what. There we go. Brenda shivers. I don't want to be here when they get here. There's a crashing in the darkness, loud enough that even you can hear it. With shouts of panic, everyone breaks and runs, stumbling and tripping over each other in the gloom and the tight corridor. The group begins to peel apart into smaller groups as people scramble down side corridors and take whatever looks safe. You're left alone, confused and frightened. Where is everyone? You find yourself in a locker room, somewhere where maintenance folks stored their stuff while they worked on things. You check the lockers for supplies. all you find is a dirty jumpsuit that looks like it will only barely fit you. That's when you hear something. It sounded like a baby, or a nasty imitation of one. You start to wrap the jumpsuit around your arm as a protective cover and realize there's something in the pocket. It's a gun, a pistol. You've never used one before, but you've played video games, and that makes you basically an expert. You can tell it's got a full magazine of 9 rounds. You know you're either brave or stupid, but you can't decide if arming yourself makes you brave or stupid. Given the events of today, you would argue that it's neither brave nor stupid, but you do feel braver with the weight of the gun in your hand. Holding a flashlight, you decide to wear the jumpsuit as well, as it has a breast pocket you can slip the flashlight into, slip your phone into, the flashlight peeking over the edge and illuminating your field of view with less awkward juggling. Try to remember where that whimpering sound came from and head in that direction. There's no one guarding the door when you reach it. You open the door, gun at the ready and cautious. There's no one there. Just a bunch of old, broken gurneys covered with dust and cobwebs. You hear that strange noise again. It's coming from behind a door down the hall. You move slowly down the hall, trying to listen to the sound. Is it a baby? Is it something else? You can't tell. You're not... you can't tell. There aren't enough video games with babies in them. Killer babies, maybe, but they sound different than this noise. You reach the door, and it's locked. As you try the door, let's see, what do I want? The gurneys behind you lurch and clatter aside. A large, dog-shaped thing is sprinting down the hall, barreling towards you, with teeth bared and eyes glowing with dark hunger. You leap backward, nearly tripping over the gurneys. Those aren't rusty at all. They're alive. That thing looks like a flesh-eating dog, and it's sprinting straight for you. Straight arming the pistol, you fire at the dog with sharp reports. The recoil numbing your fingers as the hammer crashes, as a slide crashes back repeatedly. I've had some experience with guns. I've had range time. The thing barely even slows down as a bullet slam into it, and you can see bits of flesh being torn from its body as it leaps through the air towards you. You're only saved by a gurney that topples in its path. You're pinned to the ground. A filthy gurney pressing you down. The slavering weight of the dog creature heavy on your chest. You frantically twist your gun around and fire blindly at what was probably a head once, emptying the remaining bullets from the magazine. Then you scramble backwards, raising your arms to protect your face from its fiendish jaws. But it collapses forward with a sigh and rolls off the gurney, its heavy body thumping on the floor. You've survived. Barely. You just found a gun, and you're already out of ammunition. Maybe you'll find more. But it won't be on the dog. If this even is a dog. It looks twisted and malformed. Like someone bred a wolf with a rhinoceros and you know what? You tell me. That's why I'm doing this whole AI dungeon thing. You tell me. And a human baby. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm going to make that past tense. I'm just going to pretend it's past tense. The gun barrel flashes. You empty the clip into it. Thing bulged and rippled with each hit. Doesn't move any longer. It's dead. You no longer have any desire to open the door. Another one of these dog babies must be behind it. Dragging a gurney in front of it to keep... Well, no, it would open inside. Yeah. You drag a gurney in front of it so you can hear if it breaks out. And hastily move down the hall, putting distance between you and the abominations. You jog down the hall, checking the various doors. Most of them are locked, and those that aren't nearly give you a heart attack when you check them. But the rooms are relentlessly empty. In one, you find a collection of dusty filing cabinets. You search the cabinets for clues or supplies. Give me more. There's only folders with names, and there's no indication of what's to be done with the people mentioned. Abandoned here, you think. Useless. Useless. You wish you had the map, but someone else had it. And you have no idea where anyone is now. You need to find another of those maintenance rooms and pray there's a copy of the map there. You should have taken a picture when you had the chance. For now, all you can do is soldier on. 2 corridors later, you find yourself in a tall plumbing station of some kind. All pipes and valves and dials. It's like a maze, and you can't see any other entrances or exits. Ping! You hear a sharp, high-pitched ping from somewhere in the room. Like someone just dropped a screw. Why would somebody do that? I don't know, but it startles you and puts you on edge. Hello? You call out instinctively. There's no answer. Okay, I'm just going to refresh that because the rest of that was crap anyway, so let's see. You hear no response but your own echo. You search the room, find nothing. You know, it can't always be nothing. There has to be something. Is there anyone there? You get no answer, but as your eyes scan the room, you see something glittering on one of the consoles. Looks like it's a keycard. Was that there before? You take the keycard and pocket it, not questioning providence. You'll take the mystery keycard when it's offered. But the moment you do so, you hear something. You hear that you're not alone when a scraping thumping comes from around the corner between you and the exit. Yeah, that'll work. You tense up, body ready to run, as you sweep the flashlight up the corridor. The beam illuminates her. Who? I have an idea, but I want to see what it does. It's the girl from the operating theater. She stands frozen in the beam, unblinking blue eyes staring right at you, long, dirty blonde hair billowing behind her like a cape. You're shocked, to say the least. What's the nurse from your operation doing here? I know you. You say numbly. Hi. She tilts her voice to the side, but doesn't break eye contact. Your voice wakes you up from your momentary trance. You have to get out of here. It's not safe, you say with more urgency. Come with me if they want to live. I have a gun. I mean, not for you. It's for other things. There are other things in here. With us. We're not safe. Maybe you shouldn't have said that. Now she's worried. But it's also a cue for you to run. You run! She's not a little girl. The two of you rush down the long corridor. The slap of your shoes on the floor and the ragged sound of your breathing are the only sounds, beside the squeaking of the nurse's sneakers. I don't know if there's a name for, like, the shoes they wear, or if they do wear special shoes. I think they're supposed to be, like, I don't know. There's a great deal I don't know about the nursing profession. And I don't want to... Well, I do want to make shit up, but this seems like an unimportant detail to fixate on. No, not that. You sprint raggedly down the corridor and turn a corner to find yourself face to face with a pair of zombies. They have the same hungry stare and shambling gait you observed on the street. But instead of teenagers, these are working Joes dressed in the same jumpsuit you now wear. Literal working stiffs. You raise your gun, then remember it's empty, and jam it into your pocket with a curse. You'll have to do this old school. Still, it gives you a slight advantage. Most of them haven't been fast enough to catch their victims yet and latch on with their filthy teeth. You know that moment of hesitation is all you need? What the hell does that mean? Try it again. Okay. I'm not going to do jump kicks. You start swinging the closest zombie. Hiya! Hiya! It takes 3 good hits before his skull caves in and he collapses. Having grabbed the zombie and slammed him repeatedly into the wall, you reach for the next, but he lurches in with unexpected vitality. He's gonna getcha. He's gonna get... Yeah, that is you. That works. These tenses are weird for this. You dodge and dance, but you're not quick enough. He grabs a clump of your shirt and you're spinning right into the path of the other zombie. You trip over the fallen zombie and tumble backwards. Tumble onto the grounds. But you won't let him have the nurse. You kick the zombie in the back of the knee. You may be hearing my cat. That is Mickey. She thinks I should be going to bed. He falls, chin first onto his buddy. There is no remaining zombie. There's 2. Alright, I'm gonna do that. I don't have a problem being bed, actually. As he staggers forward, you hit him in the back of the head with all your might, somehow. The noise he makes is identical to how a watermelon sounds when you drop it on the sidewalk. Splursh. Having done a sick pile driver on a sick suplex on the zombie as he falls, you pick yourself up and help the nurse over their bodies before continuing forward. Next step, the power station. You were trying to get here with the other survivors. Maybe some of them are waiting for you. You arrive at the tunnel's end, and there they are, except not quite. It's all a trick of shadow and light. Your shoulders slump in defeat, their dummies mocking you into the black tunnels. You sit on a bench and rest, looking around at the antiquated dials and wondering how this modern and cutting-edge city still has pieces of shit like this in operation. Wait a moment. There's a more pressing question. You look over at the nurse. We can rest here. No, it's like, nurse. Why are you here? You ask. She hasn't said a word yet. I'm not sure if it'll... I'm off duty, like you, she says. You shake your head at the stupidity of your own words. Yes, okay, I get that, but why are you here? In this part of the city? Okay, I'm going to get rid of this, but that's cute. I was going for a walk and I got lost. You got lost, you repeat, in the dark maintenance tunnels underneath the city by going for a walk during some kind of natural disaster. She shrugs in a resigned manner. Yeah, that's about the size of it. You got lost. Great. The absurdity of her words almost draws a laugh out of you. Having rested and resolved that the weirdness of her presence cannot be explained, you push yourself to your feet. Well, I'll try to protect you, but this is out of bullets, you say, patting the bulge of the gun in your pocket. I can't do anything with it unless we find more. And that doesn't seem very likely. I'm sorry, she whimpers. I should have tried to get help. You give a resigned sigh and shake your head. There's nothing more to say, so you silently set off. You continue to check lockers and rooms as you pass. Surely there must be something of interest here, something that will help you. Top 10 things you find under Raccoon City when you check a locker. A walkie-talkie. A bomb that goes off as soon as you open the locker. A shotgun with no shells inside a locker with no door. Well, this is going to be eventful. A strobe light yet inside yet another locker with no door. The locker just has a tape recorder inside, playing the voice of Kevin Conroy saying, "Never." I don't have a Joker voice, but let's try this. Okay, Joker is... It's... Well, I can do the... I suppose I can do the Jack Nicholson. Where does he get those wonderful toys? But...
Never escape from the Joker!
That's not... Okay. I did my best, and I'm moving forward. Besides, I've got 5 more of these. I was not prepared for a Joker impression. Good lord. More sliced and diced corpses than you've ever seen in one place before. A flash drive containing plans for world domination. Too bad you don't have anything with which to read the flash drive, so you don't know that. Number 3. More machine gun ammo than you'll ever need. You have no machine gun. A talking coyote skin wallet that only says, "Why so serious?" once you use your brand new sword to open it before expiring. I guess there's also a sword in there. And the number 1 thing you'll find under Raccoon City when you check a locker. A reel-to-reel tape recorder with a dying man's last words on it. Yeah, that's accurate. That is 100% accurate. You come out of it with a brand new sword. An unloaded shotgun that you strap to your back. Scorch marks and no eyebrows thanks to the IED, and a pocket with some machine gun bullets just in case. And a pocket full of Machine gun bullets just in case. You find a machine gun. The sword. You'd rather be using the shotgun. But the sword is nice. Do you like my sword? You ask your nurse before realizing how weird that sounds. You like my sword? Okay, I guess we're getting a description. This woman is in her 50s, yet still somehow manages to look half that. Dressed in a smart blue suit and a white lab coat with auburn hair tied back in a ponytail and blue eyes that stare into your soul. And here you are, covered in blood, the guilty expression and holding a sword in her direction. You must look like a maniac. She looks understandably concerned. I'm sorry. You mumble and push forward, pointedly taking the lead so as not to point the sword at her in any way. I am a Rain Man, you think, smiling slightly at the memory. When I was a kid, I was a Rain Man. What are those early memories? What about your sister? You have a sister? The memories are strange and fleeting. And have you distracted to the point that you almost don't notice the monster stalking you both? Almost. You smell it before you hear it, and then you hear the heavy thudding of its footfalls as it closes in on the pair of you. You glance at the woman next to you. Run, you say with urgency. Run and hide. I'll do something about this. The nurse bolts, and you turn to face the monster, getting a good look at it as it comes into the light. A towering humanoid creature made of clay, covered in thick scales and skulls, and wearing an iron mask. The T-virus took humans and mutated them into these creatures. I don't know about that last part. I'm absolutely fine with the T-virus. Took a human? Let's just leave it like that. You really wish you had that shotgun ammo now. But you have a sword, and you run at it, aiming to stab it in the chest. Tap it, in a soft spot. So not scale, and not skull, and not mask. Dead clay! You hear it bellow, just before it picks up the ventilation fan and throws it at you. Perhaps you should run as well. You run. You run very fast and far, ducking to avoid the crash of a set of lockers it hurls at you. But you're in an enclosed space. There's nowhere to hide. You have to defeat Dead Clay in order to get out of this cistern you're in. Because I decide that you're in a cistern with lockers and a ventilation fan. I don't know. It's coming. You grip your sword with both hands, holding it out in front of you. You duck under a sweep of its arm and try to stab it under the ribs. If it has ribs. Probably doesn't. It catches your blade on its mask and stares at you, unblinking. The mask migrates around its body at will. It was on its face, and now it's under an arm. That's bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit, you accuse. You accuse it? It's science, it retorts in that tinny, echoing voice. You jab repeatedly at its soft underbelly, knowing it has to have one. It swats you away again and again. As it moves, you spot the shine of something inside its body. With nothing else to go on, you desperately twist inside and carve out the shiny thing in the hopes that it will help you. It's a large round jewel embedded in the surface of its body. It cuts you up pretty badly when you reach it, but you succeed. With a jewel in hand, you scramble out of reach. That is not very helpful. Or is it? No, not right now. But you've proven you can carve things out of it. You steel yourself for the battle and move in again to carve the mask and the skulls, out one at a time, yanking them away one at a time. The steel mask. What is it, an iron mask? What was that? Iron mask. The iron mask is the last to go. You gain a scalpel! As soon as the mask is gone, it collapses, lifeless. You rush out into the hallway again. The bodies of twisted, deformed children litter the floor. You stagger in shock, fetching up against the wall. You're wearing the iron mask now. It seemed like a good idea to have some kind of protective gear, and skulls aren't as protective as they might seem. Between the iron mask and the sword, you do look like Jason from Friday the 13th, even if today is Saturday the 14th. Jason Voorhees. But you didn't expect to run into dead children. That's not that's not what you were after. You're after scary monsters, not itty-bitty kids that got in over their heads. The crying is unnerving as well. What the hell kind of orphanage is this? You call out for the nurse, who is still missing. Maybe she went on ahead. What must she have thought about the dead and tormented children littering this place? It's probably getting confused when I do that. You wouldn't want to know. You move on past the bodies of other children, further traipsing through the dark. The crying only gets louder as you pass by what looks like a nursery. Compelled to look inside, you see yourself as a child. But you're not the one crying. It's another, a little girl. Someone you thought you'd someone you'd forgotten? Your sister. You have a sister. You remember. Looking out at you through the window in her door, her cries growing louder, is the little girl. The younger you opens the door and approaches her, speaking softly to calm her down. No reaction. The younger you opens the door and approaches her, speaking softly to calm her down. No reaction. This is impossible. You shamble away from the vision, shaking your head and trying to find your way back to a semblance of normality. The basement of City Hall must be somewhere up ahead. The crying continues to follow you, louder than ever, as if the girl is right by your side. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! You growl aloud, cursing and raising your sword. Nerd. A crash of metal snaps you out of it, and you focus on the nurse shivering before you, back to a tall metal door. You have the sword raised, as if to strike. Okay, it's a bit odd. Oh, yeah, you know what? That's so odd, I'm not going to take it. So we meet again. You look down at her, ashamed at what you had almost done. I thought I told you to wait. She seems oddly calm this time, like she already knows what's going to happen. You told me to hide, but you can't hide forever. Sooner or later, it always comes back. You look past her at the door and realize there's a slot for a jewel. A slot resembling the jewel you pulled from dead Clay's flesh. Naturally, you slot the jewel into the door and it unlocks for you both. Good Lord, dead Clay is that ogre I rolled. After you. No, after you, you insist, waving her through, but she shakes her head at you softly. After you, dear sir. You enter the basement of City Hall. There are stacks upon stacks of paper everywhere. Cabinets full of it. Lawn shelves of filing cabinets haphazardly sprawling for what seems like miles. In the far corner is a messy cot, the blankets rumpled and tattered. The room is illuminated by a series of candles, strewn about on top of desks, shelves, and wherever else there is space. You follow the trail of candles, not sure of where you are or what you'll find. This is not what you expected. Some of the candles burn beside open books. The records of an orphanage. The records of an adoption agency. The records of a sealed, I don't even know what you want to call this, of a sealed justice, a sealed police file discussing a missing child who was never found. missing because her brother failed to look after her properly and after her properly. Your missing sister that you blocked from your memory. It was your fault. She was dead somewhere. She had to be. That's what they'd decided. That's what you'd overheard. You read too much, girl. You didn't read enough, boy. That means nothing. Try again. And yet there you were in front of her. She wasn't sobbing or crying. No, she was quiet and reserved, content to simply watch you. You're older than I thought. You mumble. She's 50. The photos don't do you justice. You turn on your heels, searching for something. Out of the corner of your eye, you find yourself staring into a small, broken mirror. You have changed. You have aged. It's not that she's older than you now. It's that you're older too. You're on your last legs. Weathered, wrinkles peeking out from behind the iron mask, a shaking and arthritic hand gripping the machete tight. Blood soaks the filthy, stained jumpsuits. It's been a long time since you've seen your reflection. Once, you could look at yourself and see the man you would become, the king you would become. Not anymore. Not anymore. You haul yourself tiredly up the steps and into City Hall. Staff members recoil from you, dropping papers and hastily scrambling out of the way, and police are being quickly called to your location. It doesn't matter. All that matters is getting to the mayor's office. The mayor, who was the son of the mayor at the time. The mayor who had it covered all up after Mayor Keller did what he did to her. The mayor is trying to get out. Is trying to escape. But all doors seem locked. All passages seem blocked. The twisty corridors are to your advantage now. Even if they're made of drywall and popcorn ceilings. You drag a whiteboard out of the way and let it crash to the tiles as you shoulder into the mayor's office. They both look at you, Keller in terror and the mayor in confusion. You're tired. You're far too tired to give some kind of speech about what happened to your sister about how I've been isolated ever since, about how the sickness and disease is consuming you. You have just enough energy left to avenge your sister and the terrible things he did to her. You have just enough energy to raise the machete and cut him down like a dog. No. You swing the machete. There's a look of shock on his face, as if he can't believe you killed him. Staggering and pulling yourself around his desk, you slump into his chair. The cops don't take long to arrive, and when they do, you start to rise. They shoot you, like the monster you are, and kill you. You will. Given the accusations, the crimes, and the confessions, it's more of a relief than anything else. Top 10 endings Resident Evil steals from Silent Hill. Because, yeah, that did not go the direction I was expecting, which happens. The initial premise is stolen. Children wander into a sleepy little community-type place, and then strange things happen. A bunch of evil creatures go on the rampage and try to kill everyone. Apocalyptic kidnapper psychos. Who can forget the opening scenes of Silent Hill and Resident Evil, where respective leading ladies are kidnapped by a crazy psycho? Walter for Silent Hill and the director of the hospital for Resident Evil. Yeah, Walter is a leading lady. Both characters are subsequent antagonists in their respective games. I think it actually tried to do that as number 8, but either way. Small town setting. Both games take place in the small community of some backwater town, Raccoon City and Silent Hill. Down the crazy hole! Remember when you had to separate that giant worm thing and use a circular saw to cut through a concrete hole in the sewers in Silent Hill 1? Or in Resident Evil, you had to push a big button that was in the town well. One could argue that Down the Crazy Shaft is like the series' mainstay. It's featured prominently in both games. Number 6. Cannibals. They're in the games, folks. Roaming the streets looking to pounce on some good meat, with their big creepy manic grins and blood-spattered overalls. Take a picture. It'll last longer. Number 5. Evil Nurses. Both games feature nurses as monsters. The main difference being that the Silent Hill nurses are actually nurses and wear that shit proudly. Own it, sister. The Raccoon City nurses are more specialized, operating drills and manning power saws. I don't remember that. There probably were some nurse zombies somewhere. There must have been. Crematoriums. The main level and the second half of the games are both large crematoriums full of undead monster corpses. I don't think that's true. One could say this is actually kind of a step up from the traditional haunted asylum level. Pyramid Head. Silent Hill fans will know that Pyramid Head is a perpetual antagonist in all of the games. That is not true, although he's sometimes known by other names, such as the Bogeyman or the Pale Facer. I think that's half true. I think he does get... No, wait, no. I'm thinking of 5, where there's kind of a hot swap of him with somebody else who's Pyramid Head-like, but is not, in fact, Pyramid Head. He doesn't really have a counterpart in the Resident Evil games. Oops, except for maybe the Nemesis. But who the fuck remembers that guy? Nemesis and Resident Evil, so forgettable. Dogs. In both series, evil is usually unleashed in the first game by someone nicking some mysterious super drug, and then monsters run amok, etc., ad nauseum. What's the common ground here? Retcon. Lots and lots of retcon. The drug in question in each series is retconned into being something else each time. That's sort of... I don't remember enough about Silent Hill about that. In the first Silent Hill was an experimental cancer medicine, and in Resident Evil, it's some stupid fucking primitive STD cure. T-Virus came a long way, man. So both games turn out to be about someone stealing an STD cure, huh? Who would have thunk it? And the number one thing, ending that Resident Evil stole from Silent Hill, Pyramid Head versus the monsters. The most amazing thing of all, both series' top villains have the same name, Pyramid Head. This is pretty fucking odd when you think about it. Look forward to Pyramid Head being the final boss of Resident Evil 9. You heard it here first, folks. Now, last time I stopped the stream at what I thought was the perfect timing. And it turns out that the stream had not actually cached the last part, so I cut off like the last thing I said. I don't know. I'm guessing that whatever lag I have, whatever delay I have, that delay is not captured. So since I probably have about 10 seconds of delay, I'm just going to shut up for about 10 seconds here and let the clock run out. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. This certainly didn't turn out like I expected.